Yo, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to No Huddle Fantasy Sports, and welcome back to another Thursday night DFS Showdown single game slate discussion here on the channel. Tonight we're talking the Thursday night, November 19, 2020 matchup between the Arizona Cardinals visiting the Seattle Seahawks. An exciting, fast-paced game scheduled for us tonight. Should be an exciting one, as I mentioned. Both of these teams have excellent offenses, excellent quarterbacks, excellent skill position players. And on the flip side, neither one of these teams has a really good defense. So they're matching up for the second time this season tonight in what should be a fast-paced, high-scoring, high-octane game between two great offenses. An exciting one in terms of DFS and fantasy football. Hope you're all doing well. Please make sure you are subscribed to the channel here. Please make sure you give these videos a like. We're going to be quickly browsing through this. Again, we're talking showdown slate here, single game slate. These are meant to be fun. It is a more difficult night to build a roster. Trust me, it's very difficult to fit the players you want to fit into this lineup, but I have some ideas here. We're going to talk captain. We're going to talk flex positions. We're going to talk leverage. We're just basically going to talk how you can construct the best possible lineup tonight to put yourself in a position to win. So if that all intrigues you, you've come to the right place. Welcome back to the channel here. Welcome back to No Huddle Fantasy Sports. As I mentioned, we're talking Seattle Seahawks playing at home tonight versus the Arizona Cardinals. The game should be high scoring. Vegas agrees with us. It's a 57 over under right now, according to Vegas. Whether you're playing on DK, on FanDuel, Sportsbook's pretty much sitting around 57 right now for that over under. Now, earlier in the week, it was approaching 60, which is absolutely ridiculous. May have been the highest I've seen in years in terms of NFL Vegas totals on a game, really approaching a max-style football over-under for this game tonight. But nonetheless, it's come down a little bit here to 57. I'm not saying that's a reasonable number. That's still a very high-scoring game. The spread right now sits at -3. It was as high as -4, -5 earlier in the week, so it's tightened up a little bit. All this taken together means we should have an exciting game tonight, and it makes sense because if you look at tonight's game between both of these teams, they've already matched up once this season, and tonight they're matching up for a second time with very little defense played and a ton of high-octane offense. Fast-paced. Both of these teams move the ball down the field with little difficulty. In addition to that, they have all the skill positions they could possibly want in terms of quarterback, in terms of wide receivers, even at running back. So we're looking at an exciting game tonight. Whether you're playing on FanDuel or DraftKings, hopefully this info is helpful to you. Of course, we're going to be diving into the DraftKings app here. We're going to talk about, again, all the position and players I think that are in play tonight and how you can make them work and all of that good stuff for you guys in terms of DFS. Now, again, I will say it is difficult tonight. It is very difficult to fit both of these quarterbacks tonight, which I think is a very important thing to do. In addition to someone like Hopkins, Metcalf, Lockett, those guys just simply cannot be played at captain if you want to play both quarterbacks. I'll talk about what I think could be some of the leverage, some of the spots you can go to make sure you fit those high important players in, but at the same time still get what you need out of the captain spot. But I want to first start with defense. And I think tonight, to predict these offenses, we got to talk about the defense they're facing. Of course, these teams, as I mentioned, have faced off earlier this season. It was a blowout in terms of a Vegas total. Both of these teams put up a remarkable score from both sides of the ball. And then in addition to that, the game itself was an exciting one up until the very end. So hopefully we get that again tonight. But I do want to start with defense. Now, both of these teams in terms of their secondaries are bottom half of the league. And by that, I mean they're not good. Now, when I say not good, that's really talking about the Arizona Cardinals. If you want to talk about the Seattle Seahawks, their defense, their secondary is horrendous. And if you look at the actual stats, they are giving up the most passing yards in the league. They're giving up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks, the most fantasy points to wide receivers, and it's by a long shot. They are number one in the league in passing yards given up per game. Second place behind them is literally hundreds of yards behind them. So definitely a team you want to attack through the air. But on the flip side, the Arizona Cardinals are also a team that you can attack through the air. And they got destroyed, literally destroyed by Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett in their previous matchup here. You can see Russell Wilson threw for nearly 400, had 3 touchdowns, did turn the ball over a bunch of times, 3 total times in that matchup, threw the ball 50 times. You saw Tyler Lockett go absolutely off against them. DK Metcalf matched up with Patrick Peterson, really got shut down, did have a big play get called back, but nonetheless, overall, it was really the Lockett and Wilson matchup that really took advantage of that game. But beyond that, in terms of a pass rush, both of these teams are bottom 5 in the league. They really have nothing in terms of a pass rush. The Arizona Cardinals, again, bottom 5 in the league. Seattle Seahawks, bottom 5 in the league. I will say the Seattle Seahawks at the trade deadline did add Dunlap from Cincinnati. It should help them. It hasn't yet. We'll see how that turns things around for them. But again, both of these teams do not have much to speak of in terms of a pass rush. And then finally, in terms of their rushing defense, the Seattle Seahawks are actually surprisingly a very good run-stopping team. I believe they're ranked top 3 in the league in terms of stopping the run. So something to consider there. It's a dangerous spot to take a running back against the Seattle Seahawks. The Arizona Cardinals aren't quite as good. In fact, I think they're ranked around middle of the league to maybe 15 to 20, somewhere in that ranking in terms of stopping the run. So certainly not the greatest in the world. They're on the road tonight. I think you can consider running backs against this Cardinals team. In fact, we'll talk about how that helps you build a lineup tonight. The only other thing I want to mention for these teams, as we scroll up here to the quarterbacks, both teams have decent offenses, of course, have really, really good offenses. In terms of run blocking, the Seattle Seahawks are a good run blocking team, but not a good pass blocking team. The opposite is true for Arizona. They're a very good pass blocking team with not a very good run blocking scheme or run blocking actual grade on the season. These numbers come from Pro Football Focus, but just something I want to mention. I do believe Kyler Murray, similar to their first matchup, will have all the time in the world. Again, Seattle does not have a good pass rush, and he has a good pass blocking offensive line. Russell Wilson on the flip side, a little bit more dangerous here. Now, this is not new. This is the story of Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. He typically does not have much time behind that offensive line. It does not mean you shouldn't play him, but it's just something to note here in terms of a matchup. So let's start here at the captain spot. The first thing I do want to show you is what I talked about earlier. It's really, really hard to build a lineup with some of these, basically the guys you see on the screen right now. If you want to go DK Metcalf, throw him in your captain spot, and then go Murray, Wilson, instantly you have $3,300, and there's not even a defense that costs that. Actually, you could go both defenses. I hold my tongue there. So if you want to basically play both quarterbacks and both defenses, I guess you could do that. That's not something we're interested in here, but I just wanted to highlight with you guys, even if you come down to someone like Kirk, it still is difficult with only $4,700 for these teams, for the remaining roster. You can't fit Hopkins, you can't fit Metcalf. It's just not possible with both of these quarterbacks. So we have to get creative. And the first guy I do want to mention here at the captain spot is what I had talked about earlier, and it's the reason I mentioned some of these defensive notes, defensive grades. Chris Carson is officially going to be out for this game tonight. That sets up well for Carlos Hyde, who should be running the ball for this Seattle team. You could go DJ Dallas if you really want to save money. I don't think he's going to be getting much run tonight. You saw him kind of get phased out to Alex Collins. Alex Collins, of course, is not going to be playing tonight. I don't think his contract even got picked up. So it should be the Carlos Hyde show in terms of a running game for the Seattle team. I think he fits well. I think he saves you a lot of money, and he helps you. It's probably my favorite captain spot, not because I think he's going to do extremely well and terrorize tonight, but simply because it helps you build a better, well-rounded lineup tonight. So looking back on it, again, Arizona does not have a very good run defense, and the Seattle Seahawks benefit more from their run blocking offensive line than they do their pass blocking. So let's go with Carlos Hyde there. Again, this helps you fit both Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, and lo and behold, we still have a reasonable amount of money left at $5,800. So if we come down here and check out some of these other plays at $5,800, all of these guys you see on the screen here, whether Edmonds, Moore, Fitzgerald, all three of those guys had decent games in their last matchup. You can see here, Larry Fitzgerald actually had 8 receptions at only $4,600. In their first matchup, he's only $4,400 here. So you can go definitely Larry Fitzgerald. I don't mind that at all. Similar deal here. David Moore has actually been pretty consistent over the last, I'd say, month plus of the season. You're not going to get light years out of him. You're begging for a touchdown here, but he's getting 3 or 4 receptions. Outside of that 18-yard gain, he is or outside of the 16-yard Week 10 versus the Rams, a very tough matchup, he basically has scored a touchdown or had 50-plus yards in every game. So I think he's definitely got to consider. I do like Larry Fitzgerald a little bit more there, and we're talking flex here, of course. And then Chase Edmonds. So I don't think he's going to get as much run as he has been getting lately, but if you go back, he still got 5 carries, 58 yards. He's a guy that gets a lot of receptions, 7 receptions for 87 yards in week 7. I don't mind Chase Edmonds at all here. I do prefer if you can fit Kenyon Drake. I think Kenyon Drake's going to get back to his 60-70% normal workload, but nonetheless, Chase Edmonds is certainly in play here at his price tag. Again, we're talking pricing here, what works, what fits. So let's throw Larry Fitzgerald in and come down here and talk some of these other positions that I think you can fit in. There's really no one at these cheaper price tags that I think are worth playing outside of both kickers here. And in the first game, again, if you're going to score 1 billion points, you can certainly play kickers. 12 points for Myers in their matchup earlier this season. And then you got 16 points for Gonzalez here. Both guys, again, in play here. I do favor, I think, typically the home kicker. I think it's a better position for them. It just correlates well, typically leads to more points, especially considering they are the slight favorite here. You want to go with a kicker that's projected to score or be a part of a team that's going to score more points. So let's throw Myers in, and then you have all of a sudden $9,000 for one more position. So this is certainly working out here. Christian Kirk comes into play. You still can't make it up to Lockett or Metcalf, but again, to highlight with you guys, if we throw Kirk in here, you can certainly fit Carlos Hyde. And I think this particular lineup, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I built it beforehand. I knew what I was going to end up talking about here. Carlos Hyde, Myers, and Wilson. You're basically relying on the fact that you think Seattle's going to take hold of this game, be the -3 favorite, hopefully get a little bit more of a lead than that, and run the ball well against a pretty weak run-stopping team. And then you're coming back with 2 of the lesser-owned receivers for this Arizona team with Kyler Murray. Hopefully they're chasing. Hopefully they're throwing the ball a lot here. But nonetheless, my point to you guys, it's going to be a difficult night if you want to spend up at the captain spot. I will not be doing it. You can play with some of the stuff I built here. We can talk about other players. I'm not gonna suggest to you that DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf, or Tyler Lockett are not in play. If you can get to those guys, I think you should get to those guys, but I would not be doing it by giving up Russell Wilson. I will not be giving up Kyler Murray. Both of those guys are in play here. If you want, I can play with some things here, see what else we can fit in terms of cheaper players. If we go DK Metcalf over Tyler Lockett, hopefully people will gravitate towards that game log of Tyler Lockett. If I had to guess, people will be game log chasing here, scared of Patrick Peterson, probably not play DK Metcalf here. And as a result, he'll be lower owned. You have $3,200 now. You can maybe fit one of these tight ends. You can maybe go a defense. It becomes way more difficult, as you can see. $3,600 if we remove the kicker. It's just near impossible. It really is, and I'm not even going to build this. Andy Isabella, possibly, if you want to go there, only had 1 reception their first game. Likely won't do that. I just do not think you can fit these more expensive wide receivers. I'll try to build out some of this. If you go Kenyon Drake, we talked about Edmonds being in play. If you go Kenyon Drake there, Larry Fitzgerald, you have $6,800. Still not giving you much. You might have to go double running back there. Nonetheless, you guys kind of have the idea where my head's at tonight. I think it's going to be a fun night. I think you have an opportunity tonight to really get different, really, again, differentiate at the captain spot. People will be doing this. People are going to jam in Kyler Murray. This is going to be an attempt to basically, take advantage of him running the ball and have $6,100. It's just not possible, in my opinion, to build a good, well-rounded lineup. People are going to be jamming in Tyler Lockett at this position. Again, if you throw Tyler Lockett, I don't know who in their right mind is going to be able to build a lineup with both quarterbacks and Tyler Lockett with $3,700 left. You're going to have maybe both kickers. Again, I don't think both kickers are even at that price tag. You still can't do it. You're going to have to play both defenses. It just does not make sense here. Nonetheless, you guys kind of have my idea. I wish you the best of luck. I hope you guys have fun with these videos. I hope you guys enjoy them. Please make sure you are subscribed. Give these videos a like. More importantly, I hope you have fun tonight with DFS, with this game, which should be, again, another exciting, high-scoring, high-offense night between the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. As always, I'll be putting out a video tomorrow or Saturday talking more in depth for the Sunday main slate over on FanDuel. We've been running red hot. It's been another excellent week in week 10. We hopefully will continue to do that in week 11. Leave me some comments in regards tonight and today's video. I'd love to hear from you guys if there's anything I'm missing. But outside of that, good luck tonight, and I will catch you in the next video.